You're listening to CBC Online at cbchs.org.
CBC Online, we're visiting with Tom Heinemann, pro soccer player for the Columbus Crew, out on injury right now. But Tom, welcome to CBC Online. Welcome back to CBC. Give a lot of thought to your old high school.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss CBC, the old and the new.
That's right. You kind of had spanned both the old campus as well as the new campus.
That's right.
Yeah. So we mentioned offline that you had suffered an injury earlier in the season, kind of cut your season short. But the fact is, you were making an impact for the Columbus Crew. Talk about your career so far as a pro soccer player.
First off, it's a blessing just to be able to play pro soccer. You know, it's something that I dreamed of doing for a long time, and so I'm very blessed to be able to do it in the first place. I started off. Actually coming in with the Crew in 2009. In the spring, I came into preseason. Then right before the season started, they released me. I went down and played in Charleston in the USL for 2 years. I played for the Charleston Battery. We won the USL to have a short stint in Raleigh, North Carolina, with the Carolina Railhawks after that. And we got to the NASL finals. We would go on to lose in the finals, but it was an incredible run in 2010, and then I signed on with the Crew back in. So last year was a great year, and this year was, unfortunately, just had an injury. So just working on rehabbing and getting back to be better and stronger.
Well, you're coming into the MLS in a great time when the league's seen explosive growth. Cities like Portland and Seattle, New York. I mean, the game has really kind of grown. It's got to be exciting, even though you're not necessarily in the games, to see how the league is really catching on in certain markets.
Yeah, it's something that I think the sport is not only catching on like with the league, but I think this country, with the Euro Cup this summer, and even with the in 2010, I feel like it's definitely on the rise, and that's all of the hype around it's definitely aiding the league, and it's definitely MLS is definitely a growing league, and it's only going to, I think, continue to rise.
And I think a lot of people aren't really familiar with the fact that people like Drew Carey stepped up and took a lead role in the Seattle franchise. I know in Columbus you've had some local business people. So in these cities where these franchises are, that's become a really hot ticket.
Yeah, it is. I think the league has done a good job. I think there's only a couple cities now that don't have soccer-specific stadiums. So when fans can come and have a specific stadium to identify with that team, I think it boosts the value of each individual club. So they also do a good job of making it a family-friendly thing, and also having room for the avid and crazy supporters, which are awesome.
Now, we talk about your career, and certainly the fact that you're on an injury right now is a bit of a setback. We know that you played JV soccer here your junior year, and your senior year you sat out because of the problem knee. Talk about your road from not really being picked as a scholarship sort of athlete, the road that you had to take to get to the pro leagues.
Yeah, no, it's something that, again, I attribute everything to the Lord, to God, to, putting me in the spot that He has. CBC, we had a very competitive class. There's a lot of talent that came through CBC, a bunch of unbelievable players. Some of them gone on to play, but I went on to walk. I'll go on to walk on at Rockhurst University, and I was just trying to make the roster of 18 there, and then came off the bench in the first game and had a goal and assist, and and things kind of just took off then. I've been out in St. Charles, and Terry Mickler, were kind enough to have me come out and play with them, and things went well playing for the St. Louis Lions out there. And, it's really just been a blessing to be a part of such, programs that have, so much character and tradition. I attribute a lot to the coaches as well that have worked with me on developing over the years. It's, with Coach Toko at Rockhurst, Tony Glab and Terry Mickler, and out at the Lions, and it's really just a blessing to be able to kind of go from not being on scholarship to going on up to the pros. It's really a blessing, and I'm very thankful for it.
But what would you tell maybe a young guy, 18, maybe just coming out of high school? How does a guy like that get noticed in today's structure with the way the academy system and what have you? But how does a guy get noticed by the pro leagues anymore?
I think it's a situation where if you do well and you work hard, and the opportunity will be there to progress. I think soccer is a team game. When you're a part of a successful team, I think that it also proves good for those players. So my advice would be to keep your head down and to continue to work hard, because it's not the big things all the time. It's the little things that get noticed. And if you're just continuing to work hard and not worry too much about things, you just continue on focusing on your development, I think it'll be good. And I also challenge young players to hey, what are you doing that's going to distinguish yourself from the next guy? When you're working hard, what is it that you're doing that the other guy next to you is not doing? It definitely, to get to the pro level, I've definitely learned that it takes a little something extra in terms of work ethic. You have to put in a little extra work, and you have to make sacrifices, and so that's something that I've learned definitely, and I would challenge young players to do as well.
So, being from CBC, I have to ask, what's up with the hair? That certainly isn't dress.
You don't like it or what?
That's not dress code. That's certainly not CBC dress code, but certainly gives you a bit of a look out there on the field.
Yeah, it's something that I don't think Ray Barr would be too appreciative of, but
yeah.
It's something that actually, after I left CBC, I started growing it out, and so I like having long hair. I actually cut it not too long ago, but I'm going to grow it back out.
Nice. Well, what's going on? You said you're rehabbing right now on your knee. Anything else going on? What's on the horizon for you? What are some of your goals, for this after the rehab and during the rehab?
Yeah, it's a pretty long rehab process in terms of, I'm looking to be back next year, so I'm just focusing on taking one day at a time, and it's a very mental, physical, emotional type of thing. When you're out for so long, it takes, it plays into all those accounts. So I'm just focused on taking it one day at a time. But in the meantime, I'm coming back to St. Louis to do a soccer camp on August 4th and 5th. Called Heinemann Soccer Camp. We've been running camps since 1998. Last couple of years it's been tough for me to get back, but this summer I'm actually going to be able to sneak back for a weekend, and so we're inviting all youth ages 4 to 14 to come on out. It's going to be a great weekend. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a raffle to benefit missionary work. There's going to be free barbecue for everybody. It's really going to be a fun weekend event.
Where is it going to be held?
It's at Northwest Park in Brentwood.
Okay. Great.
Pretty central location.
Now, just to kind of wrap up, we're talking about a lot of St. Louisans in the league. You're seeing people like Brad Davis, Yamanad having incredible success. The gentleman that went over and played over Tim Ream, is over there in England now. I mean, the American soccer player just not quite there, but they're making strides, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's something that's progressing, and it's always great to see, guys like Barglage and St. Louis guys doing great. You're always pulling for them to do well. And So it's something that I think is definitely progressing, and I think it will continue to over time.
Good stuff. Again, that's CBC Online with Tom Heinemann. Tom will check in with you, and certainly we look forward to seeing you this summer for your camp. And thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Rob.
Good deal.
CBC, Men for Tomorrow, Brothers for Life.